Hello and welcome to the bonus training on how to get leads on AutoPilot. In this short training session, we're going to be looking at some of the things that you should be doing to automate your lead processing and free up time for you to create even more brilliant content to attract even more leads. We'll go over a few of the things that maybe you already have but aren't utilizing very well, and some other things that maybe you hadn't thought about. So let's get started. Now, the goal of getting leads on AutoPilot is a few things that all fold into each other. So if you're creating really good content and you're doing it consistently, as you should be, and you're putting yourself out there on social media and you are getting lots of people's attention, now it may be that you get to the point where you do actually become the best known, most trusted agent in your area, and you do become a local celebrity for property expertise in your area. And what that's going to do is mean that even people that may not be ready to buy yet, people that maybe could be looking at something for the future, maybe they're just having a daydream about what they would like to do, they're going to come across your stuff because you're going to be putting things out there for everybody that has any interest in any part of your service, and over time you will build out a full-blown catalogue of amazing content that will attract your perfect prospects into you and your business. Now, with that comes some certain levels of responsibility, in that if you go from 20 or 30 or 50 inquiries a week to 300, 500, 600 inquiries a week, you have to be able to respond to all of those in some way, shape or form. You have to be able to deliver everything that you tell people you're going to deliver, and you can't let your standards drop. And one way that you can do that effectively is to automate. So the first part of automation is going to be email. Now, you may already have a list of people on your email that you send out updates to when you get new properties and things like that, but thinking beyond that, just because you've put some brilliant content onto your website, on your blog, you've spread it around on all the channels on social media, you're omnipresent, you're cycling through your content, you're adding to your evergreen catalogue and constantly adding more and more out there, it may still not mean that the right people are being given the right information at the right time. And they may find it on your website if they come across something else. They might find it through one of your social media videos. They could find it through your YouTube channel, whatever it might be. But once they sign up for one of your downloadables, your deliverable pieces of content, one of your bonus pieces of video content, downloads, checklists, cheat sheets, whatever it might be, you're going to want to follow up with them. So not only are you going to use your email to follow up with your latest properties for sale, attracting people with deals to put their properties on the market, or sending out investor property opportunities, whatever it might be, rentals, etc. You're also going to be following up with more value. The more value people get from you, the more they'll trust you. Every time they get a piece of content that they find really helpful and then find a cheat sheet at the end of it, or a checklist or a training video, whatever it might be, that's all going to solidify in their minds your position as an expert in your particular chosen field, whatever that might be, whether it's commercial, residential, investments, lettings, whatever area of property is you're in, that's where you're going to focus the most of your content and deliver the most value. So not only are you going to have them on your list for your latest availabilities and opportunities in property, you're also going to carry on delivering excellent value through your email list. And email is very, very far from dead. No matter what people say, it still works. There are still people spending a lot of money online for having big lists and paying for dedicated IP addresses and services with logic built into it so that they can really refine and get the best value from their list. That is all still happening, and it is all still working. Not for everybody, not for everywhere, but if you do it in the right way, it can work for you too. So utilizing your email more effectively is going to be step one. Moving on from email is chatbots. Now, a lot of people have a chatbot by default on their business page because they've got a Facebook page. There are some basic automations built into the Facebook chatbot, so you can deliver your location, your opening hours, and a few basic questions. But actually, going that step further and having a dedicated chatbot built for your business can be a massively worthwhile investment, because chatbots can do so much more than just deliver your opening hours or answer a couple of basic questions. They have huge potential. Now, just a few things that chatbots can do. You can get into a chatbot from multiple points of entry. It doesn't just have to be being in Facebook and clicking on the messenger button. You can bring people in from links outside of the social platforms. You can use them almost anywhere. On top of those multiple points of entry, you've got multiple uses for your chatbot. So your chatbot can not only deliver answers to specific questions, it can not only qualify and validate leads and prospects and ultimately turn them into customers online, and ultimately collect email addresses and telephone numbers, and you can get them answering various questions and quizzes and all these kinds of things that are going to give you a really good idea of exactly who they are and what they want. And then your chatbot can go away and deliver most of it automatically. And for those that it can't, it can send you alerts, get them to contact you directly, and really save you a lot of time with basic questions. And one of the key things with a chatbot is that because it's available 24/7, and somebody might be sitting on their computer at 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning, and they might come across a piece of content that you've done and they've got a question. They go to your chatbot, they type in a question, and they can instantly get a useful answer with follow-ups and downloadables and get sent to the right content. You can ask validating questions if the initial question is a bit broad. There's so many things that a chatbot can do that once you've got one, you won't ever want to be without it. So for the frequently asked questions, you can cover all of that in your chatbot. You can get it to go deeper on certain questions that are outside of the frequently asked questions. Once you know that people are asking those questions, you can program in certain keywords and you can get the chatbot to try and figure out exactly what it is the person is asking. And if it can't, at the end of the day, you can always say, sorry, can't help, I'll pass you on to a real human. You can deliver all of your content through a chatbot in Messenger. You can set up appointments. So if you're doing open days, if you're doing viewings on properties, you can set it up in such a way that people do it through your chatbot using Messenger. They've got the phone in their hand, it's with them pretty much 24/7. You can send out reminders the day before, a few hours before, an hour before, half an hour before, 5 minutes before, to make sure that they still intend to show up for the viewing, that they're not going to be late, and that they are go into the right place. You can include maps, you can get it to forward links to directions, so that they can really easily get to where you expect them to be. And all of that, once you've done the initial setup, is pretty much on autopilot. So the problems of no-shows, having to call people, find out where they are, how long they're going to be, running into follow-up appointments, you eliminate a lot of that with a chatbot set up correctly. So chatbots, particularly for local agents doing lots of viewings and open days and that kind of thing, really can be massively helpful when programmed correctly. Now, moving on from that, obviously, once you get people into your chatbots and you're collecting information from them, so you could be collecting their email address, the amount they want to invest, their telephone numbers, their Skype IDs, IDs for any other messaging system that maybe you use. All of that information has then got to be stored somewhere. Now, obviously, it is stored within the chatbot itself, and you can easily go and look that up. But maybe you want some automation. So once you collect all this information, you can have it linked into your CRM, and you can have them tagged as new prospects. You can have it tag in the CRM which pieces of content they've downloaded. That will give you some ideas as to what they're interested in, what problems they're looking to solve. And if you can use the chatbot in a way that we've just suggested, that will ask a series of questions, get a number of answers, and these can be free text answers as well. They don't have to be yes, no responses or one or two or three options only. They can literally type in a free text response. So if you've got some questions that require some in-depth answers, all of that can be put out to a CRM such that you can get a report on it. You can start building up some statistics and ideas of what it is people are downloading, the questions they're asking, the type of investments they're looking for. All of the things that the chatbot pulls in can be collated in reports that give you direction for where you should focus your energies. So actually having your CRM connected to your chatbot, I wouldn't say it's necessarily easy to do, because it does depend what CRM you're using, but using one of the tools such as Zapier to pull the information out of one system and put it into another, it really is very versatile. And so having that link between your email list and your chatbots and your CRM and any other tools that you might be using is really a good way of automating the back end of your office to really give people massive amount of value before you ever say the first word to them. Obviously, you'll be talking to them on video, but I mean in person, over the phone or face to face. So you really, by setting up this automation and setting up these funnels of delivering value and content to your potential prospects, really do set yourself up for a potential flood of new prospects and leads down the road. But you can, with automation, ask a series of simple questions that will pre-qualify them to know which order you need to contact them in. So if people are looking to get investment properties and buy within the next 4 weeks, let's say, if those are some of your questions, you can prioritize those to be contacted as soon as the next person is available. If somebody has got less money available, and you can actually set up conditions that say if they've got X amount of money available, so say they've got 50,000 available and the cheapest properties in your area are 3 times the price, you can set up a series of other questions and deliverables to them to let them know what they can and can't do with that money, depending on how much they say they've got to invest. So you don't need to be on the phone to tell them you can't afford a property unless you've got a mortgage. And if you don't have a buy-to-let mortgage, then we're not going to be able to help you. That can all be asked through a series of questions in the chatbot. And so having all of that information available and putting the prospects into an order of who is the most urgent to contact, who's the most ready to go, all the way down to somebody who's just interested in investing at some point in the future, maybe next year. You'll contact them on by a specific date if they've given you one, but it could just be a normal course of when you've got a slight lull in the office, people pick up the phone and they contact the people that are lower down the list as you work your way through the CRM list of contacts that you've got to basically get in touch with. So this is something that, fully using the capabilities of your CRM and linking it to your email and a chatbot and any other potential tools you might as well, because one of the big problems with running a business is having multiple lists of people and having the same people on different lists. It basically creates a lot of duplication. And so by centralizing it and having your CRM, your chatbot and your email list all integrating with each other really can be a good way of giving the best possible value and the best possible value of service to your potential clients without you having to be hands-on to do it. So getting that set up, once you've started on this journey of putting out valuable, attractive content to bring people into you, at a certain point, depending on how long you've doing it and how successful you've been with doing it, if you're just getting started, it may take 2, 3, 5, 6 months, it could take a year. But once it takes off, you really are going to want automation to manage the bulk of the initial inquiries, to whittle that down to the most important people that you need to contact today, tomorrow, the day after. So that's kind of how you should be looking at going forward in your business, is creating the evergreen content to attract the ideal customer with the perfect message, amazing video, brilliant over delivery using your deliverables, your cheat sheets, etc. And then automating the whole process so that you talk to the people that are most in needs of your service right now. That brings us on to funnels, and so that effectively is what you're doing with your content, is you're essentially creating content funnels. And when you get them into things like your chatbot, which can then really start to qualify them to the nth degree, that's what's going to be taking them down the steps or up the steps to actually speaking to you direct. And so really what you're going to be doing is using all of these tools, all of this technology, to take people down your content funnel to get to the point where you know when you need to speak to them, and you basically have only people on the end of the phone or sitting in your office across from your desk that are essentially ready to go. They're ready to buy, ready to sell, they're ready to rent, whatever it might be, invest. Those are the people that you've got sitting across from you, and it's your income generating task of dealing with those highly qualified people, those highly qualified prospects that are just about to become your customers. And that's where having this whole evergreen content system backed by automation really comes into its own. Now, you may get to a point where you've got so many qualified leads coming in that it's taking all of your time just to get through the leads. Maybe you take on more staff, a partner, whatever it might be. Maybe you've already got a partner and staff and you just expand out on that. But all of this automation doesn't look after itself. It constantly needs to be tweaked and evolved, and when you add new content, it needs to be plugged into the automation. It needs to have extra emails in the follow-up sequence. It needs to have keywords added to the chatbot. whether it's a frequently asked question or it's another piece of content related to something that's a bit more in depth and is a deep dive on something. All of those need to be added in by somebody. They won't do them themselves. And so once you get to a point of just being inundated with so many valuable, highly qualified leads that all you're doing is growing your business out and making people happy with the service that you deliver at your expert level, you're going to have to start looking at outsourcing these tasks or bringing people in-house to be able to do them for you. So outsourcing is something where you might use an agency, a freelance contractor, or like I say, bring somebody in-house with the experience to work on your systems full-time. If you have got people in-house that already do some of the technical stuff for you, then maybe what you will need to do is, if you're getting really busy and they start getting inundated and can't do what their main job is again, bring in either part-time staff, have them manage some of the outsourced talent that you hire, agencies, contractors, freelancers, whatever they may be, and actually delegate the responsibility for the management of that to them. And that may come with pay increases if it's something that they really want to do. But setting out clear job descriptions, and whether it's something that you get a PA for or secretaries get involved or whatever it may be, just so that you're managing the time of the people in the office that generate the most income, that is the people that do the selling. And again, you can take it a step beyond that. So again, it's not just a case of outsourcing potentially the automation and managing the systems within your office, but you could also look to do things like get more people involved in your marketing. So designers, copywriters, videographers who come in on contract to do batches of content. And so rather than you just constantly having to find time now to create new content, you start setting aside 2, 3, 4 days in a month, preferably in a block, where you just take yourself out of the business and you create this ecosystem of great writers and graphics designers, and you get the videographers in, and you take several changes of clothes along to a shoot or a studio or some local venue that you can change locations around, a big hotel or something maybe, and you start to produce things in batches. So you do a whole series of getting people to write about certain things, you add then your spin on it, then you go and shoot for 2-3 days, and you create 6 months worth of content that can be edited up, given over to social media managers who schedule it all and continually get you omnipresent across all of your platforms. And it gets a blogger to take the raw content and the finalized edit and make a nice looking web page, blog post for that piece of content, and you just get all of this done on the back end and really start to grow your business to the point that you are just totally dominant in your area. And when anybody ever looks up anything to do with whatever it is your main services for your area, they find pretty much nothing but you popping up all over the place. You are the go-to, best known property expert in your area. You are the celebrity property expert for your town, your county, whatever area it is you cover. And it's your evergreen content with the fully backed by automation process that you've designed and built and managed now, that is basically pulling all of your leads in fully on autopilot up to the point that you need to speak to them. So that is kind of an overview of what you should be aiming for with the entirety of this course. The Local Celebrity Leads Mastery coaching program is designed to take you from the very first steps of figuring out your SEO and your compliance and your brand and your message and your ideal customers and all of the really basic things that people think they've got honed in and sorted out, but probably really haven't. Or maybe they've not written it down and it's not part of the company culture. And then we'll take you all the way through the process, and here's the roadmap to show you where we are. That when we get to this point of automation, that you really do have everything that you need to make sure that your content is amazing, your videos are amazing, your headlines are amazing, that people are getting value from everything that you produce and they're getting the over delivery with the takeaways, and you're promoting yourself effectively across the social platforms, you're teasing your content, you're launching your content, you continue to promote your content once it's launched, and you're omnipresent across all platforms, and you basically deliver the highest level of value, the highest level of service to your potential prospects by making sure that because your content is so valuable, that they look to you for anything that they need to do related to that content. So as you can see, this is the last step. This is step 9 on how to generate leads on AutoPilot. And basically, once you have built out all of the content for your main service and you've gone as deep and as broad as you need to cover every single aspect of what your service delivers, all of the problems that you can help overcome, all of the issues that people may come up against, the questions that they never thought to ask and you've given answers to anyway. Once you've done all of that and you have that all laid out, ready to go for people to consume, added the automation onto the back end, then you move on to your next most valuable service and you go again. You go deep, you go as wide as you need to, you get all of the content created, you get it all put out there, all promoted, all into your automation systems. And then once all that's included and everything's evergreen and on AutoPilot and bringing in leads day in, day out from the search engines, through the social platforms, through YouTube, whatever else it is that you may be doing, then you go on to your next and your next and your next, until a couple of years down the line, you have content on absolutely everything related to your business. And all you need to do is maybe show up for a daily live to promote whatever it is that may be related to the big news topics of the day. And there is nothing you can't answer. There's no information that you can't send anybody to help them overcome any problem related to any service within your business. And you've got a full automated system to back that up. And you will literally take that to start growing. If you're in a town, maybe you'll go to your county. If you are in a county, maybe you'll move to the next county and you'll just grow and expand. And that is ultimately the goal of setting up a fully automatic lead generating system for your business. So that's kind of it for this bonus training. It's something that if you're trying to do now and you don't have the basics in place, then you may find that you spend a lot of time trying things and it just doesn't work, and it's really difficult to figure out why. But if you use a system such as the roadmap we've just shown you, then it's actually much easier to figure out where things aren't working. And so if you would like to find out a little bit more about that, please do feel free to get in touch. As you can see on screen, you can get in touch through Facebook. So if you want to go to our business page, use the messenger there. That's actually a chatbot. If you want to get in touch with me personally, use my personal messenger. Add me as a friend if you would like to. I'm more than happy to accept new friends while I've got space on my profile. Join the Facebook group. If you want to go in there, there's loads of extra videos that you can look at, but you can also ask questions in the group as well. And as that grows, hopefully, it won't just be myself asking, the community will get involved as well. And by all means do send free call on Messenger if you would like specifically to talk more about the local Celebrity Leads Mastery coaching program. So, as I say, that is it for this bonus training. If you found it helpful, please do leave a comment below. Let me know what you found useful. If there's anything that you feel that I missed, or if there's anything that you don't really understand, please feel free to ask. Just drop in a comment, contact us on Messenger, join the group. Whatever your preference, that's fine. More than happy to discuss any of the topics on any of the videos that we've created that support the local Celebrity Leads Mastery business coaching. And if you want to see other videos like this on some of the other topics, there's at least one guide for each of the steps in the local Celebrity Leads Mastery program. We'll be developing more over time. Eventually we'll probably have a guide for every action of every step, so that'll be 27 of the guides available to download at some point in the future. There are 9 at present, one for each step, like I say. So if you want more videos like that, just feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go and have a look at some of the other videos over there. Plenty of other topics to look at. And yeah, give us a thumbs up on the video. It is a YouTube video. And we'll see you in some of the other videos. So like, comment, subscribe. Send a free call to Messenger if you want to find out more. And until the next video, enjoy the rest of your day and goodbye for now.